Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the one, the only, Evolve Wrestling's own Brandi Lauren. Brandi, how are you, love?
I am doing great. How are you guys doing?
Well, I showered today, so I'm good. I can't speak for the rest of the guys in this studio because
I mean, I see you guys got some s'mores cupcakes over there, so I'd be doing pretty good if I was over there.
Well, I guess one was touched.
Yep. Destroyed it.
6 of them, 5 of us. One of us is going to get 2, and it's probably going to be Smitty.
Black privilege.
So, Brandi, there's things that are kind of blowing my mind right now about you. One, you're pretty new to Evolve Wrestling, aren't you?
You know, I am new to Evolve Wrestling. However, I have been with WWN since my first year, before even my first year of wrestling. I used to go to all the shows when I was training and everything. I would go to Shine shows because they were right around the corner from me. And actually, my very first show ever was for WWN. It was for ACW.
Oh.
So as far as WWN as a whole, they've been there for me since the very beginning. But I have just now started wrestling for the Evolve shows, which has been absolutely amazing because it's such a huge platform, you know?
And what's really great about this is you're currently the only person scheduled to be on every show this weekend that WWN's putting on. Shine 58 in Livonia, which is then followed by Evolve 127. And then in Indianapolis for Evolve 128. You're the only person, period, not just anyone, just
man or women,
that is going to be on all 3 shows. How does that make you feel about that?
Doing work.
You know, it's going to be an absolutely crazy and busy weekend, but I am like super excited. This morning I was just so hyped. You know, I was in the car and I was talking to my mom and everything like that. I'm like, man, this weekend's so exciting. I'm getting to do what I love, and Evolve is such a huge platform for me. You know, I've even got to wrestle like a girl from NXT, and just there's been so many amazing opportunities that they've been giving me, and just being able to put me out there and having me on every single show, like, it's absolutely crazy, and that they value me that much.
Obviously, you're a huge commodity for them, like you said. Otherwise,
get that work.
That's why they have you on all 3. And you mentioned the NXT. You faced Lacey Lane from NXT. You went over, and as a matter of fact, you're undefeated currently, if I'm not mistaken.
I am undefeated in Evolve currently. I've been quite the winning streak at Shine as well. So.
So when do we get to call you Brandi 2 Belts?
Is that a good question?
It would go over. I hear all of a sudden the word belt is allowed in any type of wrestling now. It doesn't matter where you work, you can say belt and you won't get canned for it.
What a breakthrough.
Right?
Yeah, I'm still waiting for a shot at one of those belts over there at Shine. You know, there's quite a few over there that look nice and pretty to me.
I think, what is it? 4 belts at Shine?
There is the Nova Championship, the Shine Championship, and the Tag Team Championships. No.
So 4 technical belts, but 3 titles.
Yeah.
All right, so we're shooting for Brandi 3 belts.
Brandi 3 belts. She can run a gauntlet, man. 1 around the waist, 1 on each shoulder. Sounds like a plan.
Here we go.
Hey, I can carry them.
Ultimo Brandi.
Yeah, that's good.
So, Brandi, let's talk a little bit about your career. You said that you had started your first wrestling was with WWN, but
Yes.
How long have you been in the business? Who trained you? And who trained you? Sorry.
So I started training about 5 years ago, and before that, I didn't really watch wrestling much. I didn't know much about wrestling, and I went to New York. I'm from Buffalo, actually. I went to go visit my family up there, and my cousin was like, hey, you got to come to this show with us. And there's like a local indie show, because I had seen some stuff on TV, but I never really watched wrestling. And, I was like, I don't know, that doesn't seem like something I'd be interested in. And she's like, just trust me, just come with us. You'll have so much fun. So we went to this local show up in Buffalo. I can't even remember the name of it, but we went to 2 shows that weekend. One was that show, and then the other one was Empire State Wrestling. And those were my first 2 shows ever, and I fell in love with wrestling from there on. So as soon as I got home, I started searching up schools in Tampa, and I found a school in Clearwater. At the time, it was called like Uproar Pro Wrestling or something like that, where Jay Lethal was the head trainer. So I started training with him. I went there right away. As soon as I got home, I started training, and like, I kid you not, I am so glad that I had gone to that show on that day, because I never would have realized how much like I actually loved wrestling. So I was training with him for about a year, and then I had my first match with WWN. I was training a little bit with another female wrestler who had wrestled for Shine. Her name is Radiant Rain, and she had contacted some people for me and said that like I was ready for my first show, and if they needed someone that I could be there and everything. So they ended up putting me on that first ACW show for my first match, and it's crazy because now almost like I'm at all the WWN shows now. I'm always at Shine. I'm on every single Shine show now, and it feels really good too, because I worked so hard in the beginning. Like every single time I was there putting the ring up, tearing it down. I remember one time just being one of like 3 or 4 people that showed up to put the ring up and tear it down. And now, I'm being able to be on the show with all these amazing, amazing, talented women. It's honestly absolutely incredible. And going to all these shows, they're always like probably my most favorite days, because I just feel like I'm at home. Everyone's just like amazing. And, it's made me so happy and made me, really appreciate like just wrestling even more,
Right. And we've had quite a few friends of ours, personal friends of ours, that have gone to an NXT show. NXT shows and they had never watched wrestling before, and just like, women, of course, and then they watch and they absolutely fall in love with it. And so it's great. It's a wonderful experience. And I was watching this interview with Rhino the other day, and he was like, it's always a talking point. You can always, you can always find someone that knows something about wrestling, whether it be past, current, or even thoughts of the future and things like that. And there's, no matter what situation you're in, a conversation about wrestling can be the ice-breaking factor to then lead to things that are even better. And like you said, you went to a show, and all of a sudden now you are the Queen of Club WWN.
Damn right she
That's
is.
what I like to say.
Oh, trust me, we do a little bit of research here. We don't just pull the people on here. We have to know who we're talking to. Now, obviously, you've had some experience in other companies as well, and that only makes you a better all-around performer, a better person on the microphone. So we want to know, get maybe some inside information here. What exactly is your motivation in WWN and Shine and Evolve? Like, you're obviously undefeated. You're calling yourself the Queen of Club WWN. But what's the motivation to take that and be possibly Bandy three belts, Ultimo Brandi?
Ultimo Brandi has a better ring to it.
To run it. What is the motivation behind this? Obviously, we know what got you into it. Now, what's motivating you to be the top performer in your field?
I just want to be the best wrestler that I can be. And honestly, like, just being able to get myself out there and like be able to reach myself to more fans that have ever seen me or even may know me. Because when I just started, like, the only people that knew me were the 3 promotions that I continuously, wrestled at, until I started reaching out a little bit more, which Shine helped me get so many different bookings on other shows as well, because it's such a huge platform. And that's really like my main goal is, like, I just want everybody to be able to, see my wrestling, and like, because that's just, I don't know, man, I love wrestling so much, and just to be able to share that with everybody, that is really what is super awesome. Even people that you know, like they know me from somewhere and they watch my match. They'll be like, hey, you know, I see that you're sometimes wrestling in Florida. Like, tell me when your next match is and I'm going to come. And they come and then they're like, you know what? That was actually really cool. I know a few people actually that now started going to the shows more often just from, you know, me telling them about wrestling. And, you know, that's really cool, just being able to share what you love and, like, being able to share that with other people, too, so that they can see something that they might not have seen before, you know?
Right. And yeah, I totally see that. And when your love of wrestling shows from inside of the ring, it definitely affects anyone who's brand new to the product, walking into their first show ever, to even the most storied, you know, sometimes jaded wrestling fan. You know, they'll see that the person putting on a show in there is busting their ass. Whether there's possible mistakes, whether it's the most flawless match ever, if someone puts the effort into it, it is noted. And obviously you just gain more respect in that community from the boys, aka the men and the women in the back, and the people in the audience, no matter where they're sitting, from the high rises and the nosebleeds to right up front at the ring. I have to ask you, what, with 3 events going on this weekend, 2 of which are in one day in the Livonia, Michigan, the next one, Evolve 128 in Indianapolis, Indiana. What? Because you're not scheduled. You're scheduled to be performing at Evolve 127, but nobody knows exactly what you're doing. Can you give us any insight into that yet?
Brandi.
The only thing that I know right now is that on May 10th for Shine, that I will be wrestling Thunder Kitty, which is going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to be definitely a fun one. I really don't know how old Thunder Kitty is, but she has to be at least 90. Because when I went to these shows, I mean, when I first started going to all these Shine shows and stuff, I saw her coming out, and I mean, man, she's something else. She's something else. I'm actually really excited for this weekend, just based off of this match. But as for Evolve, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be doing, but you better bet that I'm going to be making an impact while I am there.
Go ahead, Z.
All right, so I have a question. Throughout the indie scene, the performers like to pull ribs on each other while traveling on the road. So I was wondering, A, what is the best rib you've ever pulled on somebody? And B, what is the best rib that's ever been pulled on you?
Oh, see, that's a good question. But the funny thing is most of the time I actually travel with my mom to a lot of shows.
So you rib your mom?
Yes, everyone laughs at this because they're like, oh, you know, like I got this road buddy or that road buddy. My road buddy is my mom.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, and every so often, when my boyfriend's in town, he'll come to the shows with me too. But 9 times out of 10, it's my mom. So I mean, for her, she loves it because she gets to see me, you know, wrestling and everything like that. But you know, I try not to prank her or do anything like that to her because most of the time she's driving and she lets me sleep on the way home. You know? So I don't want to prank her, then her get mad and tell me to drive.
So you're
or
making
tell me to stay awake. You know,
you're making that 18, 19-hour drive, huh? For the shows up to here.
Actually, I fly in for those ones.
Oh, okay.
The most I usually drive is around to like Georgia and. Well, I'm going to be making my debut in Georgia, so I'll be going there. And, you know, she drove me to Miami, which is like a 5.5-hour drive from here. Yeah, so she doesn't drive like anywhere like insane, but I mean, a good 5 hours there, 5 hours back. That's a lot for her since, you know, she's not used to any of that either. So
I lived down there in the area for about 6 years. I not grew up, but I lived in Port Richey. So I'm
okay.
Yeah, so it's basically like, you know, I went down to Clearwater Beach myself, had quite a few wrestling matches on there where people got a lot of photos of me getting suplexed a lot. You know,
How long ago was that you lived here?
Oh, that was many a years ago. That was
Many moons.
yeah, like that was. It was like 13 years ago. It was like 2005, 2006.
The real question is, why did you go back up there? I hate snow. I hate that weather. God awful.
Fuck you too.
I'm a firm believer that in a Michigan winter, I can put on enough layers to stay warm. In a Florida summer, I can't get naked enough to stay cool without blowing so much money on an air conditioning bill.
Well, you can, but nobody wants to see that shit.
Nobody wants to
That
see
or I'll
that.
go to jail. I'll be the next Florida man you hear about in the newspaper.
My house is always at like 60 degrees. So
Yeah. Plus, you probably have a fan on at night, as anybody should.
Oh, of course. Of course. You got to have a fan on at night.
People that sleep without a fan
on.
yeah, they're fucking psychos. We don't want to talk to them. We don't want to know them. They're all fucking weird people, and like just can't even deal with it.
A lot of us are fucking fat up
Not
here
right.
anyway, so we like to eat and keep warm up there. You know, so.
They call me Brian Two Fans. I sleep stark naked, so
Gross. No, that's you.
That's our show for the week.
How many people just tuned out hearing that?
no cupcakes for you.
Yeah, you obviously don't need any.
No cupcake for you.
So, Miss Brandi, I have to. What is your? We have talked about obviously some of your past, your introduction into the business, what motivates you for the future. What is your ultimate goal in as being a professional wrestler? No, whether it be just in WWN, do you want to move up, possibly be in WWE, things like that? Like, what is your ultimate goal for as a performer?
AEW.
Ugh.
So I heard that. I mean, my ultimate goal is definitely going to have to be the WWE. I mean, it is the biggest like platform for wrestling, for anyone to see you on WWE. You're reaching so many more eyes than you could ever even see. I mean, and that is why it is too a big deal with being with Evolve, and you know they obviously have a working relationship with WWE. So I mean, you see NXT superstars on Evolve all the time. I mean, coming up, we got Cole's going to be there. Baby. You know, it's really exciting being able to work with a company that, you know, brings in people like this, you know, and has like a working relationship with us, and being able for me to say that I get to wrestle the NXT girls. I mean, you know, and I'm sure all the people that, you know, in the back, like they all see, you know, the matches between me and this NXT girl, and it's honestly, it's super, super exciting. But yeah, I have to say that's my ultimate goal is to get as many eyes on my wrestling as possible.
We saw this year, for the first time in WrestleMania's history, women were the main event, the final match on WrestleMania. That was with Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte Flair. So
right.
Now I want to ask you, name 3 women that are currently on Raw or SmackDown that you would love to be in a main event WrestleMania match with. And who do you think?
Oh, wow.
Who do you think would be? So let's go 3. 1, who is the one that you just? That's my number 1. I want to be there. Number 2, who do you think is going to be the most fun to work with inside the ring? And then number 3, just off the top of your head.
Let's see. That's such a hard question. God, you tricked me with this one. There's like just so many amazing women there that like just to choose 3 of them. The first one, I would probably say Natalya.
Nice.
The second,
Now the second is the person that you think would be the most fun to work with in the main event of WrestleMania.
the most fun.
You know, who you think you could put on the absolute best workhorse type 5.5, 7 Meltzer star match?
Yeah, who's your Brat and
I'm going to say
match?
Asuka.
Asuka? All right, nice.
Yeah.
And then third, just someone that you would love to face, to say you faced them.
I'm going to say Naomi. She's so athletic. It's absolutely incredible to me, like some of the stuff that I see her do.
Those are three women that when you look at, for anyone who is watching wrestling, you can watch every match of theirs and go, that was solid. That was really good.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I love all three of those picks.
They're also three of the most misused women in WWE.
They're all absolutely amazing athletes. They're just so talented and so athletic. Especially Naomi, when I see her doing half of the stuff that, I wish I could only dream of doing. I'm not much of a person that leaves my feet. So,
but at the same time, then that's why a match with Natalya or Asuka would be spectacular for you, because the technical prowess inside that ring of you got holds and reverses, and I can just imagine how beautiful of a piece of artwork that match would be. And that's what it is. Let's not try and make any bones about it. When you put on your performance in that ring, it is a work of art to you, for your competitor, and for anybody watching it. Sometimes it's not always the best piece of art, but it's still a piece of art that you're putting your heart into. Look, we all make mistakes, man. Like everyone says right now that AJ Styles is the best wrestler, bar none, through and through, best performer. He is what Shawn Michaels left over to him. But we have seen him still make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. But it does not change the fact that
very rarely him.
But it happens.
Yeah, but even when AJ makes a mistake, he knows how to properly make a mistake. It's
not even a mistake, really. It's barely a mistake.
Right, but again, and then he's going to be his biggest critic, because as we are his biggest fans, and that is what makes a great wrestler. So, Brandi, let's just talk about the Shine thing. So it's going on at the Mahonigan Knights of Columbus Hall in Livonia, Michigan, 19801 Farmington Road. Things going on. Shine Tag Team Championship match. Lumberjill rules. Rainbow Bright.
I know.
of Luscious Latasha and Gabby Gilbert defend against the Twisted Sisters of Holly Dead and Thunder Rosa. The Shine Nova Championship match. Aja Pereira with Ayla defends against Shotzi Blackheart. Mercedes Martinez versus Sue Young. Allison Kay versus the debuting Samantha Heights. Ivelisse versus Natalia Markova. Kimberly versus Santana with the Shine Tag Team Champions Rainbow right next to her. You, the one and only Brandi Lauren, against Thunder Kitty, the 90-year-old assumed Thunder Kitty. And then Marty Bell and Lindsay Snow to round out that show. Sounds spectacular. You guys can get your tickets. You can go to WWNlive.com. You can go over there, check out the events. You can get your tickets on eTix. Or, ladies and gentlemen, you go join Club WWN if you're not in the Michigan area. You're not within that 5-hour mom driving radius. You can watch it on Club WWN for just $9.99 a month. You can get all of the past WWN events. Go ahead and tell us, cut a little promo on Thunder Kitty if you want. Can you? Will you?
The big thing about it is that Thunder Kitty, the whole thing with me and Thunder Kitty is the fact that, I've come to Shine and I've been, just pushing for our younger generation of female wrestlers to get these opportunities. And then she starts talking about how, that they've worked so hard for everything and they've been working for years. But guess what? I've been working my ass off too. And I've been trying to create opportunities, not just continuous opportunities that someone's given just because they've been there long enough. Well, I've been sitting here working my ass off and continuously showing up to every single Shine show, which all of a sudden she kind of just, disappeared and doesn't think that I deserve the opportunities that I've been given, which is, to me, the absolute most ridiculous thing in the world.
Damn right. You deserve everything that you work your ass off for. And then following the Shine 58 show was Evolve 127. Same place. You can get tickets and you don't even have to move. You get Shine 58 tickets, get yourself Evolve 127 tickets, and in the exact same place, Livonia, Michigan. I can't even say our own damn fucking state.
All right, Michael Cole.
Right? Knights of Columbus Hall.
At both of those places.
Brandi Lauren will be there.
Shine starting at 3 and Evolve starting at 8 p.m.
Boom! NXT superstar Adam Cole, baby! and Cassius Ohno, they will be available for meet and greets. And then the main event is a non-title match where the Evolve champion Austin Theory is taking on Adam Cole of the Undisputed Era. The WWE Championship will be on the line as JD Drake defends against Joe Gacy. There's a special tag team main event of Cassius Ohno and Harlem Bravado versus AR Fox and Leon Ruff. A grudge match with Evolve Tag Team Champion Eddie Kingston versus Kurt Stallion. Special attraction match, Josh Briggs versus Adrian Jaud. There's a special challenge match as well, Anthony Henry versus Juntai. And then there's a new talent showcase, Anthony Green versus Stephen Wolf. And not to mention, as we said, the one and only Brandi Lauren will be in action at Evolve. Damn right, Brandi, at Evolve 127. Yeah. And then she's also going to be in action the exact next night, Saturday night, in Indianapolis, Indiana. Remember, etix.com. You can go and get your tickets for Evolve 128. And again, main event number 1, only in Evolve, Adam Cole versus AR Fox. Main event number 2, Josh Briggs taking on NXT's Cassius Ohno. Main event number 3, Austin Theory will defend his Evolve Championship match against Nate Webb. The Evolve Tag Team Championships will be on the line as Eddie Kingston and Joe Gacy defend against WWN champion JD Drake and Anthony Henry. The Evolve 125 rematch, Harlem Bravado versus Adrian Jaud. And then there's a special challenge match number 1, Kurt Stallion versus Ace Perry. A special challenge match number 2, Shotski Blackheart versus Natalia Markova. And then there's a 3-way freestyle, Leon Ruff, Stephen Wolf, and Juntai go against each other, and another new talent showcase, Anthony Green versus Steven Pena. Brandi, thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
I can't wait. I won't be at the Shine Show because unfortunately I have to work during the day, but I will be at Evolve 127. I hope to get a photo with you, meet you officially in person, and then, watch you just kick someone's ass.
Oh yeah, that's my specialty.
So let everyone know where they can find you on all of your social media, Miss Brandi Lauren.
Yes, everything is now just Brandi Wrestling, Brandi. Don't spell it with a Y because that's definitely not the way you should spell Brandi.
That's not her. That's not her. If you guys are watching live on our Periscope or our Twitter feed, you can see right at the bottom, it's at Brandi Wrestling. So that's Twitter, Instagram.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah, nice. And of course, she shared our story that we had of her, that she's liked some things, retweeted some things. So we thank you so much for even just pushing us a little bit because, look, man, one good push deserves another.
One last thing.
Of course. I appreciate you guys helping us get our platform out there.
One last thing.
Ooh, from Z.
Give us a 10-second soundbite of why you should listen to Breaking Down the Ring.
Because they feature Brandi Lauren. And who better to be on that show?
You're goddamn right.
That's what I'm fucking talking about.
Perfect.
That was the best soundbite we've ever had in our lives.
That is the truth.
Truly the best.
Brandi, thank you again so much for calling in. Can't wait to officially meet you this Friday night. And we hope to have you on the show again when you're talking about how you're going to be facing someone for one of the Raw or SmackDown Live Women's Championships, if not before.
I would like to see her go against Allison Kay, the current NWA Women's Champion.
Brandi 4 belts.
we were feuding for well over a year, so, it's definitely possible.
Boom, baby. All right, Ms. Brandi, thank you again so much for calling in. We hope you have a great night, safe flight to up here in Michigan, and we can't wait to see you Friday and Saturday for Shine and Evolve.
Yes, thank you guys so much. I'll see you then.
Thank you. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.